I feel like I'm going to sneeze all of a sudden. I hope you're doing well. I know it's kind of dark from what I'm seeing here. Okay, it's a little better there. I'm working on getting better lighting. Anyhow, let's get right into this because I've already pulled cards and we'll get to those ones after. I just want to shuffle those. The reason I came on here, face to face is because honestly, I went over these cards and I just couldn't stop laughing. I had to get clarification. Peter Pan has been coming out nonstop. I literally had to go and look up things about Peter Pan, the movie, because when Peter Pan came out, I'm like, okay, what is this Peter Pan about? And literally came out La Film, and that is about the movie. So I went and looked up Peter Pan, the movie. I never really knew all those deeper meanings to Peter Pan, like the boy who never grows up or the child who never grows up. And people kept on asking about Peter Pan, saying, is Peter Pan the movie about death? And I'm like, why do I keep on seeing people saying, is Peter Pan the movie about death? And what I realized, so there's a whole big thing about Peter Pan, the boy that never grew up, the Lost Boys as well, the same writer. And I forget his name right now. He's absolutely famous. Anyhow, but the reason they say they never grew up is because they were dead, right? So anyhow, I wasn't looking into it in that sense. What I got as soon as I realized and was asking myself, why is everyone asking that? This is about a transformation. This is about your masculine growing up, maturing, and coming into their goals, responsibilities. And it was really interesting because then when I went back and read the first clarification card I got, it's a feminine energy, the Queen of Bedlam. And it talks about, I have it here, responsibilities of partnership and going mad because you want something to happen and it's not happening. So let's just start with the cards that came out so I can tell you what's going on here. It's really weird. When these cards came out, I don't think that they had purpose to be in order of any sort. It's almost like they're all a combined message in one, because it has to do with this gate opening, okay? And what I wrote down, because these are French cards, viewing, okay, so what this talks about is viewing difficulties with a different perspective will bring solutions. And it's really interesting because we have this flower growing. And it's really weird because I thought that the flower is growing through cement. It's not talking about that or looking like that. I don't know why I thought it's growing through cement. Doesn't matter. What you feel deeply and clearly imagine tends to take hold. So what this tells me is like a flower growing through cement. The divine feminine has made their way through, it's like the barrier, right? And it's going to bring solutions because you started to open up and realize you had to focus on what it is that you want. And it's not just you, because for the people watching this, most likely you're dealing with your divine counterpart, right? So you're mirroring each other, plain and simple. Now this card, beautiful. I had already written this explanation out. And what it says is revival. You are more powerful and beautiful than you imagine. You can transform negative into positive. So I feel like there's this huge gateway opening. And I don't know if it has to do with the new moon that is today, like it's happened today here. It may be happening right now, wherever you're from, depends. But there's something here. There is something big, guys. And that's why I was guided to pull these cards, because I was going to do the monthly. And I'm like, no, there's a bigger message for today. So first clarification card we have is the Queen of Bedlam. And I'll read you the explanation, just a bit of it, because, I'll just read right here where I just looked, okay? When the feeling of I'm going mad sweeps over you at these times, the Queen of Bedlam has decided to visit. She is calmly sitting in your kitchen, pulling the petals off the flowers in the vase on the table. She's tearing your kitchen sponge into tiny little pieces. So this is about, like, when is this going to happen? I've repeated myself too many times. I'm waiting here. I'm ready for this. I've been here all along. This is going to come to an end, okay? We have the card of hope here. And if anyone remembers with the card of hope, it just came up recently. This talks about the tattoo of sadness people often have on them. Like, they'll have a sad, broken heart, or a tattoo of like a very dark energy with a broken heart, like this sad energy. Why do people do that? Because they want someone to be with them. It's just, it's talking in the way cards talk, but they want an energy to be by their side, to go through the sorrow with them. But what this card talks about is, even in your darkest times, there is still that fairy energy, which is really cool. I'm just putting this all together because this card talks about this little fairy. Well, interestingly enough, Peter Pan has a little fairy, right? So this talks about this fairy of hope, and to stay having hope. This is the hope card, because there's always that bright spark that will come through in the end. And so then we have the Pan. Okay, and this time I thought, instead of just going with the Peter Pan, let me even look into it. Not only did I look into the film, because that was the explanation the cards gave me. Isn't that so bizarre? I'm like, what is Peter Pan about? And the film, like, look up the film, girl, and I'm like, oh my gosh, because he's come out, Peter Pan has come out, I believe, in the last reading, in multiple readings I've had and done, even if it's privately. Some of you know that. So what this talks about is joyous flight, courage, and the big thing. Now, it's talking about this death and how Peter Pan sees life and death, and he flies joyously into whatever comes next. But I already know, because I've clarified this even further. This is about Peter Pan, your divine masculine, finally no longer resisting this connection in any way, shape, or form, and going for what feels right. Okay, this Labat, I didn't know, is about reaching goals, crossing bridges. Your person is about to come in and give you this very divine connection, okay? There's going to be this is the pearl. Pearls are very special. They take, I don't know how long pearls take to shape, to form, but I know they take a very long time. So this is a very special time when your person is finally reaching a level of responsibility on a new level. And for many of you, you're dealing with men in their 50s and 40s, and and you're like, oh, he is mature. I get it, but this is a new level of, it's almost a maturity with an innocence. Someone finally going for what they truly want after putting that on hold for so long. Okay, and look, isn't that interesting? Because the first card that did come out when I just was shuffling here is finances and career. This person has most likely been very focused on shelter, security, and stability. I'm getting the 3 S's, right? And here we go. It says, your soulmate may differ from your usual type. Maybe when you first met your person, in a sense, maybe obviously I bet for almost everyone, they felt something right away, but maybe they were just like, yeah, right. Like, that's not going to happen. I'm just going to focus on finances and security and whatever else is going on. Because that person's too different than me. That person, maybe they saw you as this bright light and this bright hope and this fairy energy. I actually heard someone describing what sounded like a beautiful feminine as being a kind of little bit airy. And it's like this masculine that was a friend of mine. It's like he didn't really know how to express that. And it's not that he was seeing anything wrong with her. He was just like, she's kind of a childlike energy. And I'm like, yeah, you mean like someone who's open-minded and ready to explore life? So sometimes they don't know how to explain that energy when they see that, right? So look at this. With release the X, I literally am getting that your person had to release an X, not only an X, maybe expectations, sure, as in maybe in you, but your person it's like they had to release their past beliefs altogether. It's the death. That's what the death energy is. It's of your person having an internal suicide, internal death, and being ready to move forward. It's not your person's dead. No, your person's not dead. Your person has had a death. They have released something, okay? And guess what? And I know this for a fact, guys, because this happens. It's happening to me. It's happening to many people that I work with. And it's going to be a fresh start. And I suggest that. Sorry, let the sirens pass. What do people say? It's like Archangel Michael or something? He's here all the time. My new location, yeah, he's always here then. So getting to know each other, this is exactly what's going to happen. For some of you, you're going to start getting to know each other by hanging out with friends or doing things that you haven't done before. Maybe going to, well, I know the pandemic, right? So whatever you can do. And I hope everyone's doing okay. I know there's a lot of fires going on everywhere. So yeah, for a moment, I almost forgot what's going on in the world. But look I have this. This is my mask. And I'm just keeping it here because it's driving me crazy the amount of times I walk out of my place without one. Hi everyone. Hi Nay. Thank you for being here. You've been crying yesterday. Masculine kind of bumped heads yesterday. And we're fighting. Listen, I hate when you argue. Yeah. There's a couple things you can do there. You can literally just start erasing it. Just honestly, I've done this before and it works. And I just was like, that did not happen. That didn't happen. We both are going to forget about this. We're going to move forward. And that didn't happen. I've done that before. And I literally just never spoke of it again. And my person never spoke of it again. And I actually was the first one to make the move and just like call like everything's normal. And I know maybe it sounds like, oh yeah, well, it wasn't that bad, I'm sure. No, like I've had some rough times that I got myself out of just by saying like, that didn't happen. Okay. Forget, done, over with, clean slate for now on. That's it. It may sound like a little bit of like living in La La Land or something, but it works. Okay. Because what energy you put into it is the energy that will escalate from it. So if you're going to be all sad about it, it's not going to help. Let's see what's coming out here. Heart-to-heart conversations. This is what you're going to be having a lot of. You know what's going to be so cute? This is so cute because I know this is a deception card, but I see here like this face of this masculine. It almost looks like he's wearing a mask because he doesn't know how to handle this connection, but it's not a bad thing. This energy I am picking up here of this Peter Pan energy and all this maturity and this responsibility, it's not in the way that your person's going to be forcing themselves to do this, but they know it's time for them to open up. It's time for themselves to do something different and to stop wearing this mask because everything's out on the table. We're going to get into that actually just a bit. I want to keep this kind of, to the point. I feel like we can get all the messages we need within a good, maybe 20 minutes. Okay. So we have flirt and children. That is going back to that childlike energy. That is what the masculines seem to be deep down inside, is this childlike energy, because Peter Pan keeps on popping up. So I wanted to just really get into that Peter Pan. So what's going to happen when this masculine... Oh, boy. Okay, let's see what's happening here. That looks scary. Okay. I didn't get to finish my sentence, but let's see what it's saying. Sometimes the cards have a message. I almost feel like, shh, and listen. So let's see what's happening here. Number 61. And if you see the picture of this guy, it's not pretty. Okay, I'm going to show you. I'm worried about the message. Oh, guess what? This is crazy. So this card is about imaginary fears, unreal hazards, and realistic caution. That's really actually, I feel better already. I'm going to get right to the meaning of this card. It is time to look for the truth behind our fears, to distinguish between what is real and what is just our projection of old traumas and fears into our imaginary future. By by getting into our old patterns, we can see past them to a more liberating life. Wow. Only by facing those fears honestly and seeing them for what they are, do we gain greater ability to open our hearts. Wow, this talks about the Singer of Courage, number 8. So the Strength card, to face the real difficult challenges in our lives. Each false fear confronted and resolved makes us much stronger. I did not expect that beautiful message from this guy. So what people may be scared of, for some reason, I almost feel like it's your person, but obviously because this is a very energetic mirroring energy here, both of you have these imaginary fears. Let's see what your fears are. I really want to know what the divine feminine may be fearing at this time. Let's use this deck. I almost felt like I brought out oh, yeah. We're going to use this deck too because I was guided. I knew I was meant to pull from another deck too. So we'll pull from both. What is the divine feminine fearing? And we'll pull one for your masculine too. Let's just give this a really good shuffle. It's all a lesson. I just saw the student card, right? So what is the divine feminine fearing? I'm going to pull two cards, one from here and one from there. So surprise, surprise, we shall see. Please clarify what the divine feminine is feeling. Fearing, not feeling, fearing, please. So these are imaginary fears, by the way. Here we go. Shush, get this. Let's see. The mystic. Wow. So this is about divine union. It reveals an intimate union with the divine. There's something here about the divine feminine sphere is that this union won't happen because your masculine is hanging on to something else, 9 of Wands, or your masculine is afraid to make the move, okay? That's what the divine feminine is fearing. I'm not even going to pull another card because this answers this question further. We have 6 of Wands. For those of you that are regulars on here, you know, like I have this 9-6 thing. It just goes in my brain. It has to do with the flipping energy. And this is an imaginary fear. This is exactly what this card is talking about. This is an imaginary fear. This union will happen. You literally got a card that talks about union with the divine. Like this divine union will happen. But your fear is that your person may be looking in a different direction or going in a different direction or afraid to let go and go in the direction they want to go in, okay? So let's look into the masculine's imaginary fears here. Okay, so what is the divine masculine fearing? Guys, I love, as much, like I just love getting clarification from cards at times because I knew I was meant to have this reading. Wow. So first thing I noticed, okay? Is everything okay? Everyone on here? Hi, everyone. Yes. Okay. Hi. Because, I had some people on here the other day, So guess what the divine masculine is fearing? Thief. But look at the picture, right? Really, the divine masculine is fearing having his heart stolen. Being tricked again. I don't know why I just said that. That just came out. Sorry. But yeah, I guess so. Being tricked again. Sheds light on the potential wealth within you that can never be stolen. It's a fear. It can't happen. He's afraid of you coming in and stealing his heart, stealing whatever, making a fool of him. This is the 4 of Swords, but what's the first thing you notice there? The 3 swords, right? The 4th sword is at the bottom. The first thing you notice is the 3 of Swords. This person is so fearful of getting their heart broken. This guy is even hanging onto a sword when he sleeps. You know those people that sleep, but they never really sleep because they're having nightmares? Or even some people never sleep. Like you see their eyes going all crazy and all that stuff. That's what I feel this energy is because he doesn't know who's going to be there. He has to cover his back. I see a crow in this picture. I see the hourglass running out of time. Your masculine is also worried that there's a time limit here. Like I have to get to this, but I'm afraid to move. It's like paralysis. That's almost what it is. Because you notice how I just did that flickery thing? And now I'm picking up paralysis. Some of your masculines could have that. I mean, I don't know a lot of people, but I grew up, I met people that had that. It's kind of scary. It's like they have a daytime paralysis. Like they are not even sleeping. Like they just can't move at this moment. But, I'm happy to find out what those fears are. So let's look into what's going to be happening here, though. Because Peter Pan's coming home. Peter Pan's maturing. How is this person going to come out of these fears? Like, how is that going to happen is what I want to know. 10 of Pentacles. Ooh, and the 9 of Cups. You know how this person's going to come out of these fears is by receiving the love, knowing the love that's waiting for them, knowing what can happen, being positive. There's an energy here of fulfilling energy, like a fulfillment energy. So how is this person going to get out of that state of worry and false fears is by focusing on the positive, focusing on the love, focusing on the reunion. I mean, the gates opening, the flowers growing out of cement, anything is possible at this time. How is the feminine going to deal with that? How is she going to get out of these fears? Okay, we have the moon, 7 of rods, and the queen of swords. So this is what I get, divine feminine. You need to conquer your fears. That's what that's about, because the moon is things at night, and we know for the feminine, then look at justice. Trust in your divine fate. Trust in your divine karma in a positive way, right? You need to conquer your fears and your thoughts, because the moon card and the queen of swords tells me thoughts are coming at night. And the 7 of wands is about perseverance. It's about not giving up. It's about blocking those fears and thoughts. And that's the best way you're going to get out of these false fears, okay? Because this is great what's coming in. I'm going to pull one more card for us and call it a day. We'll get back to the monthlies either later or not quite sure just yet. Because look at this beautiful message. Give it to God. Okay, guys. Now, that is different for everyone. Do what you want, okay? For me and my beliefs, I believe we are God. And I believe surrender to yourself. But let's see what this is talking about. Take a deep breath. It's beautiful energy. This is Amber. Maybe someone's name's Amber too. This is a beautiful energy. It says, take a deep breath. And on the exhale, release this situation to God for healing and answers. Release this situation to God, knowing that it's coming in. Knowing that your person is facing their fears. And if I would suggest an intention, you could just say your person is becoming fearless and courageous and coming towards you right now. And just leave it at that, okay? So thank you all. I hope everyone, analysis paralysis, yes. I mean, that's a good way to put it, but I'm going to call it daytime paralysis is what this person is. But yeah, I mean, it could be because they're analyzing everything. You need to conquer your fears, every divine feminine. Don't let the nighttime get you. In fact, the nighttime is a perfect time for writing out your fears, crossing them out, and putting out the exact opposite. It's literally that simple, guys. If you want to look into coaching or reading, personal reading, all my information is in my links below. Thank you for all the donations, honestly. Thank you for booking all the readings and keeping me doing what I love. And I'm so happy I came on here live, okay? I hope the lighting's okay, and I hope you can hear me clearly. It's been said, fear and faith cannot, yeah, for sure, they cannot be in the same space. You can't, think about it, you can't be super happy and then think of like something terrible. It doesn't match, and it doesn't. And it's really weird because it's true. And I'm born on the day of laughter and sadness. That's what it says in my astrological book. But it's true. There's times when like I used to be, I'm not like this anymore because now I have a clear mental diet and my life has changed just from that alone. But before, when I used to be exactly that statement, happy and sad, I could literally go from crying and like kind of like 2-3 seconds later, like after I stopped, just start laughing about stuff. Like it was really bizarre, but it couldn't happen at the same time. So that proves that point. You're absolutely right. And you have faith, but you feel so lonely. That is very common in the beginning of the self journey. You know, you got to embrace that loneliness. You got to sit with yourself in that loneliness. Sometimes you have to do it for months. You know, you don't have to. It just seems to be a realistic point, like that I've noticed. You don't have to. You can do it instantly. I know that for a fact. But sometimes it takes us a long time to finally just accept it and be like, I love myself. I don't have to be lonely. I don't have to feel this way. And sometimes I will feel lonely just for now. Just know it's just for now, because you're going to get to a point, if you like work on yourself, where you're never going to feel lonely when you're alone. You're never going to feel lonely. You're going to feel great. So you're going to feel happy to be alone. Like, you're going to come to a time when you're like, yes, I have alone time. Yes, I can work on my manifestation. Like, yes, I can start doing some stuff for me right now. Like, you know, so that's my advice when it comes to that. I've been there. I get it. And you can get to a spot where you don't really, I don't know, because I'm at this spot where I'm not going down like before. And I wonder sometimes, I'm like, does it last forever? And I believe it can. I believe once you get your mind right, you don't want to go backwards. You don't want to feel bad. You don't, I'm just noticing my computer's chipped. You don't want to go to that feeling. So I could imagine you just keep on telling yourself what you need to tell yourself to make sure you stay high level. And that's the way it is, okay? So get some hobbies. You can do so many hobbies on YouTube. You really can. And yeah, thank you. So many people are on here. Thank you so much. That's so nice of you to join and talk and chat. Rabbit hole are as deep as you want to dig them. It's interesting. I thought about rabbits this morning. I don't know why, but I remember I thought of rabbits and I was going to bring it up to you guys. And I was like, that's corny. That's what I said to myself. I don't know. I don't even know why I was thinking of them. But I was like, lovely little rabbits. And then I'm like, I'm going to tell the viewers I'm thinking about rabbits. So yeah, maybe that's for you, Steve. Okay, bye guys. Thank you so much. Ciao for now.